Panther Nation, what up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound the like button, get in the comment section. Love to hear y'all's thoughts as we go throughout today's show. I got a good one for you, honestly. I got a great show for you guys, actually. So I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Don't know if I'm lagging or not. I have one of the best internets, and I don't even know if it's lagging right now. But if I am, let me know in the comments. Other than that, make sure as you come in, again, make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Shout out to the 704 Bound Show over there. Those guys just reached 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't gone and checked them out yet, make sure you do so. Go over there, go over to their channel. They've got great content. Twan and them are just absolutely awesome. I know they're live right now with the Black Cat Panther podcast and some other guys. But go check them out if you haven't already. But you know, I got a great show for you in here today. It's time to get blown out by the Cowboys. It honestly could come to fruition, man. It could come to fruition. Basically, what the fuck are they doing? Is basically the title today of this show. I mean, what are we doing, guys? You know what I mean? Like, what is this team actually doing? Because here's the thing. I get we're in a difficult position, but this week's headlines really have just been dominated by the team, dominated by our head coach, Frank Reich. Reich has taken control of play calling responsibilities from the offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown. And that's just after 3 games. Now, granted, if we compare the statistics of Bryce Young when Frank was calling to Thomas Brown was calling, I mean, Frank, when he was calling the plays, was definitely better. I still think that you didn't give enough time to Thomas Brown. And if anybody thinks, even though that Thomas Brown only signed a 1-year deal with us to be the OC here this year, to think that he's going to go somewhere else and get a head coaching job, you're out of your mind. This decision has caused controversy, right? And despite this, Wright has stated that he believes that this is the best for the team. Right, citing experience and attention to detail have been the primary factors behind the move, in my opinion. Now, Wright's decision has put now increased pressure on him and the team. And the Panthers are in a dire situation, which with just 1 win from 9 games this season. And however, Wright has really asserted his authority and is determined to do everything he can to help the offense take the next step. Right? And it has lost the good graces of some fans. He remains focused on the task at hand. I'll give him that. But the change in play calling responsibility has also impacted Thomas Brown. Now, Wright quickly pointed out that this won't impact Brown's future, but the move is a bad look for someone who seems to be clinging for power or to power, right? Like, Brown is a talented coach, I think, but he must answer questions about this during interviews for whatever team he ends up at next. Because in addition to this coaching change, there are concerns about this team's ownership, right? The controversy, right? The downfall since David Tepper purchased this team from Jerry Richardson has been the ownership's meddling in football matters, which has been evident at practice on Wednesday, where influential figures with the Panthers watched the offensive line versus the defensive line drills. Whether this increased pressure will bring about, I don't know, necessary unturned production this weekend against Dallas Cowboys, that remains to be seen. You got a rookie quarterback in Bryce Young who's trying to trying to be determined to thrive in this disastrous of an environment. This team's record and the ongoing coaching changes after coaching changes, it's just a tough road ahead. And honestly, I think that if something doesn't change, I will not be surprised if we won't see Frank Reich and David Tepper fired in this coaching staff. The offensive staff, not the defensive staff, the offensive staff. I won't be surprised if we won't see somebody go. And some of that coaching staff. I won't. David Tepper's patience is going thin. But again, David Tepper, you are the one that got us into this position because we spoke about that yesterday. Again, you chose to hire Scott Fitterer, who has not done anything good for this team when it comes to free agency and draft talent. You haven't added any talent or depth into the positions that are needed. Well, you did, but your talent was wrong. Your scouting was wrong. You sell a mortgage to get a quarterback, but the team is not built around him. The scheme is not right for him, right? You choose to hire a head coach that just got fired, that really didn't have any time off to reflect his time in Indianapolis, and you chose to pick him over a guy named Steve Wilkes, who went 6-6 last year and almost won the NFC South. And this team actually had an identity. You trade away Christian McCaffrey. You trade away DJ Moore. And then you tell them who the draft. So you went with Bryce Young, when now look at what CJ Stroud's doing. And I'm not saying CJ Stroud would be doing anything better here than Bryce. I think at the end of the day, I think CJ Stroud went to a better situation. But I don't think we'll know we'll never know that. We'll never know if they wanted CJ Stroud. We'll never know truly if they wanted Bryce Young. But you start out with Frank Reich as playing calling, you switch it to Thomas Brown, and then you go back. It's just like you're reaching and reaching at this point. For what? What are you reaching for? It's like you're grasping for air. And I think Frank Reich's suffocating. Simple as that. Now this is interesting, right? Franchise tag. Right? Franchise tag. You got your franchise. We're going to end up franchise tagging Brian Burns. It's probably what's going to end up happening. Guys, make sure as you're coming in, make sure you pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you get in the chat. The more you like, the more you get in the chat, the more we get out, that gets the algorithm out there. We got a small show today. Yesterday, we had over 30-something people in here. I guess everybody's over there celebrating the 704 bound, which they deserve it. They deserve it. If I'd known they were going live, I would have gone at a different time. It's all good, though. We're here. So what's up, Panther Raider X? We'll see. Again, so franchise tag. Honestly, I expect them to franchise tag him in this upcoming free agency. I think he's going to receive it during the NFL free agency, even though he would have a massive market in free agency. I think the Panthers are almost sure to keep him on the team, giving them the executive negotiation, the window to reach a long-term deal. And however, if the agreement's not run by next July, I think all bets are off right? I think all bets would be off. And Burns has 2 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances, and he's likely on his way to a third. Uh, the Panthers negotiated a contract extension with him throughout the offseason. The talks have been kind of in limbo mode, and once the regular season began, Carolina really must win their remaining 8 games to break the streak. Really below 500 football team. But given the decision to keep Burns on the roster past the trade deadline, it's basically a virtual certainty that this front office will keep him one way or another next offseason. Now, Burns would make $22 million on the franchise tag, but a long-term deal could likely approach around $30 million per season, I think. And we'll see how it pans out. But I do see them franchise tagging him this upcoming offseason. Do we really want to? No, not necessarily. I think we need to sign him because you're not, again, as time goes on, his trade value goes down, right? So, but as time goes on too, his value is to our team is more important, right? So, as a player, what's up, Chris Mack? He's been inconsistent. He's very inconsistent in the run game. When it comes to pass rush, he's getting better in coverage, I will say. Um, but when it comes to running the ball, he has not been very good in the run game. But I see it happening. What's up, Marcos Cash? Guys, as you're coming in, make sure you pound that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. I would greatly appreciate it. So make sure you pound that like button, guys, as you're coming in. Get in the comment section. We're going to go throughout some things. We've already talked about Frank Reich switching over to play calling. Now we're talking about franchise tag. So let's move on to the next topic. Who are the Dallas Cowboys? That's who we got coming in this week. We're hosting them at Bank of America Stadium. It's a 1:00 game, guys. I'll be watching it. Maybe I'll probably be live doing a live play-by-play, even though we'll probably get blown out. But I want to watch. I want it to be around. I want to be around to watch that, and I would love for y'all to join me in on that. Again, the Panthers are coming off that 16-13 loss against Chicago. Again, we're 1-8. The Cowboys are riding high right now. They've ever since that San Francisco game, they have seemed to really find themselves in a better position and playing good football at the right time. Right, this is the time when teams really need to start getting hot. Like San Francisco, I predict that San Francisco is going to get the. I think San Francisco is going to get hot again. They always get hot in November. They're going to have they're probably going to go on like a 5-game winning streak. Watch. But we have struggled against the Cowboys in years past. We're 3-10 against them in the regular season. The last time we played them, the Cowboys won 36-28. However, I think the Panthers are hoping to reverse their fortunes this time around. The Cowboys have an explosive offense. Dak Prescott, who threw for 4 touchdowns the last game against the Giants. Prescott he was 25 of 35 in that last game for over 400 yards. Rushed one for a touchdown as well. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, both had massive games in that game in that last matchup. Combined for 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the Cowboys rushing attack, Tony Pollard, Rico Dallas, also something to watch out for. Even though Tony Pollard has been absolutely atrocious fantasy-wise for me. But this is a game for them. We know about our run defense. They did well I thought they did pretty well against Chicago, but this is a total different ball game. You are going against the Dallas Cowboys. Between Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle, they have been averaging around 134 yards per game. Now, on defense, this is where it gets really interesting because the Cowboys are second in the league in passing net yards per game, which means they're only allowing 166 yards per game. And that they are led by Michael Parsons, who I believe is the best defensive player in the NFL. I still believe in that. Who has 53 pressures, 7.5 sacks on the year. He is aided by defensive ends Dorian Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, this Cowboys defense is also the only team this season to not allow a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver, or a 300-yard passer. So that just tells you how good this Dallas defense really is. I haven't even gotten to visit my family this week, and probably won't till after Sunday. I don't want to hear all that BS. Oh man, well, I don't know what to tell you there, cuz I really don't know what to tell you there, Marcos. Get ready for this. And then the special teams are also strong. They got a rookie kicker, Brandon Aubrey. He's hitting all 19 field goal attempts this season. So far, he's setting an NFL record for most field goals made without a miss to a start of a career. He was named the NFC Special Teams Player of the Month for October and led the league with 53 touchbacks. So that's who the Dallas Cowboys are. Explosive on offense, dominant on defense, good on special teams. So all around, you're playing a team that is all around and functioning at a high elite level in the league, and that's who we're going up against on Sunday. I mean, we bet, and people were asking me, do you think we have a chance against Dallas? I mean, okay, again, guys, we are 1-8, and we're in dire need of a win. I think this team is hungry for a win. They gotta be. All right. Still, it's doubtful that they're able to secure the season's biggest upset against a team like this. Okay. And that's big time ambitions if you think so. And it's a fierce reputation for quickly disposing of inferior opposition. That's a lot of big words. I am sorry. But we are also 10.5-point underdogs. All I'm asking Carolina to do is just show me some fight. Seize this moment. Prove that we can be a decent football team. I have no expectations whatsoever for the Panthers this weekend. I think for us, simply what we're just looking for is physicality, no backward steps, the will to fight for everything. I mean, I know it's hard. I know the situation is difficult to ask for all that. And even though the Panthers aren't in the same stratosphere as Dallas, okay? We're not even in the same realm, okay? They can still gain some respectability from their upcoming encounter by executing more effectively, showing some pride in their performance. And whether if they win or lose, what's important is that the Panthers demonstrated that they won't just roll over and willing to become the NFL's, I mean, we are the NFL's laughing stock, but just stepping mat, right? Just people can just step on us, and that's all I'm asking for. All right? So just give me everything you got at this point, if you can. You know what I mean? Like, give me everything you got at this point. I'm not asking for a win, and I don't expect to win. Again, I have no expectations, but just simply just show some fight for me. Show that you can just, go up. It's just go out there, step up, show everything that what you're made of. That's it. Simple as that. Just show me physicality, no backward steps again, and the will to fight for everything. That's it. That's all I ask. I just realized I'm drinking sweet tea from. Oh my God. How did you not notice that, Marcos? 8 people are watching. Make sure you pound that like button. There's no reason why we shouldn't be at 8 likes. The more you like, the more that people come in here. All right, the more that people come in here, enjoying the live. So I would greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, let's move on to the next topic. So this is really what I want to get into because I know I kind of spoke on it earlier. I don't know about anyone else, but Reich and some other coaches is so getting fired after the Cowboys game if they don't fire Tepper first. Well, Tepper can't get fired, Jarvis. He's the owner. Are you saying Scott Fitter to get fired first? Because Tepper can't get fired. He's the owner. He's the one who does all the firing. Guys, make sure you pound that like button. Come on. Pound it. You know? Keep pounding that like button like it owes you money. It's free. It helps me out. It helps the channel out tremendously. You guys have helped me grow this channel to 37 subscribers. Okay? By you doing that, just you pounding that like button goes a long way. So make sure you pound that like button like it owes you money. Okay? Let's continue to grow this channel. The more we grow, the more things I can do, the more things I can bring to my content. All right. And I would love to grow this to, I want to get over to 5,000 subscribers before the season's over with, but I'd love to finish out the year. I would love before next season to be like 10,000 subscribers. Because then I can start reaching out to guys and start doing interviews, stuff like that. That's my goal. I want to be able to grow this to the point where I can interview like players, possibly coaches. That's something that can come to fruition if I grow this channel good enough. And I've already reached out to players and coaches to interview them. I even reached out to Cam Newton. No joke. I slid in his DMs on Instagram. My bad. I meant Fitter first. Okay, gotcha. That's what I kind of figured, Jarvis. It's all good. I'm on the road, but listening in. Good luck. Thanks, AJ Brooks. It's my daughters. That's funny. All right, 10 people are watching. See, now we're growing it. We're doing good, guys. Thank you so much for pounding that like button. Just like it says at the bottom of the screen going across, make sure you pound that like button like it owes you money. Okay, on a happy note, I consider this an early Thanksgiving because the Panthers are playing the Cowboys. I can't wait to drink while watching this game. I hope you continue to do great, bro. Thanks, Jarvis. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving too, guys. I ain't gonna lie. I'm ready to throw down on some food and spend some time with the fam. And play a lot of golf. Play lots of golf. All right. So again, the Panthers, this play calling power struggle is just incredible to me. I know we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but I was saving my really deepest thought about this whole situation because, again, the play calling power struggle between Frank Reich and offensive coordinator Thomas Brown has only made things worse. And I told y'all it's going to get worse before it gets better. And yeah, this has received a lot of criticism. Here, first things first. Thomas Brown needs to, I'm going to be honest, okay, guys? So get ready. Thomas Brown needs to plan his exit from Carolina, first off, because Frank Reich's the head coach. He has every right to make this switch. And going back to the decision to wrestle play calling responsibilities from Brown really undermines the young figure in no uncertain terms is really what it is. All right. And Brown should start planning his exit right away from Carolina if Reich sticks around. Because secondly, the Carolina Panthers are failing Bryce Young. And when the team made their daring move to number 1 overall, They were seen as the perfect landing spot for any rookie quarterback. But boy, were we fooled. Okay. The Panthers are failing young in most every way imaginable. I don't care what you say. You can say, yeah, Bryce is playing bad, but they've also failed him. And that's part of the reason that is part of the reason why he's playing bad. And simply hoping this doesn't do any long-term damage to him. But and in this case, I don't see how it does it. Thirdly, you got Frank Reich now on the hot seat. And this sort of switch indicates that Wright is firmly on the hot seat. And David Tepper, again, I told y'all, is not a patient man. Going 1-8 was unlikely to have been considered a worst case scenario before the campaign. Tepper might be forced to cut this experiment extremely short unless something absolutely miraculously changes. And then lastly, the Carolina Panthers are a complete joke, okay? This team has the league's worst record and is a laughingstock. This only heightens the perception that leaves us fans disillusioned by how things unfolded under Carolina's current coaching staff. The situation in Carolina is a complete mess, and there is no easy way out. You either find a way to turn things around quickly before it's too late, or you continue to be the laughing stock, and then you, David Tepper, as the owner, become the laughing stock of as an owner. The power struggle is real. The power struggle is just absolutely real between this team, between this coaching staff, the GM, the play calling. And I mean, the list goes on, right? The list goes on. All there is at the end of the day is that David Tepper should have never been involved in meddling with the football operations. Plain and simple as that. He should have never been the one allowed to be picking the drafting Bryce Young, and he should not be telling who he wants as his head coach. He shouldn't be telling the GM what to do. You shouldn't be telling your coach who, what kind of style of play calling you should do. That's not how it works. The most successful owners are the ones that sit back and relax and enjoy the show, right? That's what it is. Tepper was in there yelling at Frank the other day. I wonder if that's why Frank is taking back play calling. Probably is. I guarantee you Tepper went in there and said, no, I want you back play calling. But again, we're not going to see a significant change. It's going to go back to that vanilla playbook. It's still going to be the play calling no matter what, who's coaching it right now between Thomas Brown, whoever, right? Even if it was, between Thomas Brown, Frank Wright, and the rest of that offensive coaching staff, all of this play calling strategy and schemes are all going to be the same. It's going to be lifeless. There's going to be no creativeness to it. It's going to be boring. It's going to be predictable. It's going to be the same inside zone scheme that they're running with the offense. It's literally going to be the same fucking thing. And it's going to be atrocious. Is it just me, or does anyone else not notice that Wright looks more and more pale, lifeless each week, because he definitely looks like he's ready to get fired or leave Carolina? I would be ready to leave and be fired. If I was Scott Fitter, I'd be ready to leave and be fired because of that fucking bum, David Tepper, getting involved in football operations. Dude, I mean, it's simple as that. It is simple as that. You should have never been involved in football operations. You should not be allowed. Now, whoever GM you pick, David Tepper, you should be allowing them to pick the coach. Okay? You should be allowing your GM and your head coach pick the players that they want, not you. Now, I don't know if David Tepper's getting involved in the free agency thing, but I know for a fact he's getting involved in the draft. So, that's where I'm at with it. It needs to stop. Marcos Cash, do you know Panthers Prime podcast? I think I actually know them. Let me look them up. I have to look them up. I've heard of them. I don't know if I've listened to them. Let me Panthers Prime podcast. Does he just show? I see. They look. Oh, I'm not subscribed to them, but I know him. He said he has a source inside the building, but couldn't go into detail about it. But he said that there was a lot of yelling going on inside the building. I'll subscribe to him because I'm a supporter of all the Panthers podcasters, so I'll subscribe to him. So, I gotta give all the guys props, man. I gotta give all the guys props. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day. So again, it's just a complete mess, and there's no easy way out of this. It comes down to the fact that David Tepper needs to take his ass and put himself in check because no one else is going to. He needs to go and play golf. He needs to worry about the business side of things, the marketing side of things, selling hot dogs and tickets. And whoever he hires next, because Scott Fitter's getting fired, I truly believe this Frank Reich and this offensive staff will be fired. And once that happens, whoever he brings in as the GM, let the GM make his decisions through hiring the next coach, through bringing in the free agency, even though I don't think David Tepper's getting involved with that because he has probably no idea. But again, I think another thing is you got to bring in, and then you let him draft the players. You have no say in that. We cannot. Frank Wright's got to, or David Tepper has to realize that he is got to get out, stay out of football operations. You have no idea what you're doing. So that's why the title of this thing was. That's why I had it in my. That's why I had this. What the fuck are they doing? And I don't think Frank Wright knows. I don't think Thomas Brown knows. It's confusing Bryce Young, and David Tepper is the cold-heartedly the one who deserves the blame. Plain and simple as that. You're 30-61 as an owner. Just let that sink in. You have over half of your wins is how many losses is your losses are double your wins. Now, if it was 60-30, we wouldn't even be in this conversation right now. I'm surprised that they so-called fan march got canceled. I would have wanted to see how that protest would have gone. Well, number one, I think it was I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think the march is a good idea. But again, they would have it's all about timing. And I think when they were going to do it, it was just bad timing. It was just bad timing. Tepper, Jarvis, Tepper would have busted out the big ass water cannons. He probably would have, his bitch ass. All right, guys, let's do a mock draft. We did one yesterday. Let's do another mock draft, and then we'll get into the week 11 picks. Actually, let's do the week 11 picks first, and then we'll get into the mock draft. or the SWAT team. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's a good idea. I just don't know how it would pan out. I think it's a good idea. I just don't know if it would pan out well. All right, let's get into the week 11 picks for you. Some NFL week 11 picks, and then we'll do a mock draft. And yeah. So the first matchup I want to talk about here is tonight's game. You've got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens. First off, if you're just joining in, make sure you pound that like button. You already missed out on me talking about the Cowboys, the play calling switch, David Tepper as an owner, all that good stuff. So you'll be able to go. You can always go back and watch it. These are always replayable. So make sure, though, you just pound that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But while you're here, if you're still here, we're going to go through week 11 picks, and then we'll probably do a mock draft, and then we'll call it a day. Again, so the first matchup tonight, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm looking forward to this game. I mean, the injury reports have some concerns for me with the Bengals defensive front. I think I'm sliding towards Baltimore with that. Both teams are coming off tough losses. I think that the injuries and matchups will likely be the deciding factor in this contest. I got the Ravens I got the Ravens over the Bengals. I think the score it's going to be like a 28-25 game. I think it's going to be a good game. So we're going to skip over the Dallas and the Panthers game. I'm going to do a full prediction and preview tomorrow on that. In the matchup between the Chicago Bears, though, and the Detroit Lions, this is so easy, guys. I mean, the Lions are dominant on defense. The only thing I would say about the Lions is that they're dominant. They're dominant on offense, not defense. The thing is with the Lions is that their defense needs to step it up for me to say that defense is playoff ready. But I mean, they're going to beat Justin Fields, and the Lions are going to run away with this one. It's going to be like a 38-21 kind of game. Now the Houston Texans against the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray returned to the Cardinals. CJ Stroud had a strong performance last week. I think the Texans have improved as time has gone on with DeMeco Ryans. I got the Texans beating the Cardinals here. I think it's going to be like a 27-21 game. So, let's keep a close eye on that. In the AFC North, though, that Cleveland-Pittsburgh game is intriguing to me because Deshaun Watson is now out, right? So the uncertainty there is definitely kind of got my brain rolling a little bit. I think the team overall, the slight edge I give to the Browns, but with Deshaun Watson out, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a sloppy game. I think the Steelers, though, get the win. I think the Steelers pull it out without Deshaun Watson. I think the Steelers pull it out. It's going to be like a 17-16 game, guys. I really do. I really do. All right, let's move on to the next game. We're going to start with the Washington Commanders now. I mean, the New York Giants are 2-8. They're probably just as bad as we are, if not worse. I got the Commanders winning big in this. It's simple, easy as that. The how bad the New York Giants are struggling, 31-17 is probably going to be my final score for that. Chargers against the Packers. Most experts, I expect the Chargers are expecting the Chargers to outscore the Packers. The Packers defense could level the playing field, but I still think the Chargers offense is going to win 28-20. I still believe in Justin Herbert in that offense. So I'm rolling with the Chargers over the Packers in that game. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Tennessee Titans. There's a lot of split matchups in this game. I think the pick here definitely is the Jaguars to cover. You know, I think the Titans have a shot to win outright, but the score prediction for me, I got the Jaguars winning this 26-17 Titans. Or Jaguars, sorry. Next up, Miami Dolphins against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, most experts expect the Dolphins to cover, but the Dolphins' offensive firepower, I think, just predicts a comfortable win here, 34-20 for the Dolphins. You got the San Francisco 49ers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hate to say this. I think the Buccaneers are playoff contenders, but they're not beating San Francisco. This is the time when we start seeing San Francisco dominate until they get to the NFC Championship, and they'll fumble like a cheap, they'll fold like a cheap tent. But they'll beat the brakes off of the Buccaneers 33-14 in this game. You got the Seahawks and Rams. Most experts are predicting Seahawks. I'm rolling with the Seahawks too. 26, 23. I think it'll be close. Buffalo Bills against the Giants. Most experts expect to pick the Bills to bounce back from the recent struggle. I believe the Bills will rally for at least 1 week. I predict the Bills to win 23-13. In a close contest matchup, the Broncos against the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Minnesota Vikings are hot. Josh Dobbs is kind of have a resurgence of his career. Trying to extend their win streak to 6 games, which is insane. I predict the Broncos, though. I think the Broncos are getting hot at the right time. That big win over the Buffalo Bills was huge for them. I think Sean Payton is really turning things around there. I'm taking the Broncos in a close one, 27-23. Then last but not least, a Super Bowl rematch. A lot of experts are divided in this. I've seen. I believe the Chiefs could win this. I mean, I'm not going to pick. Not going to pick the Chiefs to win, but I'm not going to pick the Eagles not to win either. But I'm going to go with the team that is 8-1, right? Because the Eagles' defense is definitely better than the Chiefs. The offense is starting to Jalen Hurts. I think in them I still don't think we've seen the best of the Eagles yet. I really don't. So I'm gonna say this is a close game. I'm looking forward to that game though. I got the Eagles in a close one, 28-26. Give me the Eagles, and that is your NFL week picks. Besides the Panthers game, again, I will be breaking that one down tomorrow. I'll give you a full prediction live stream on that. All right. Let's do a mock draft. Oh my gosh. My nose is still running. Let's run one. We'll do a slow one. This is interesting. Let's just keep everything in the middle. Let's keep everything in the middle. Let's do a mock draft for the Panthers. Hey, I mean, Jarvis, I wouldn't be surprised if they do, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, bro. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys don't take over that stadium. I know I got a buddy who's going to the game who's a Dallas fan, so I won't be surprised. All right, let's go. Let's get into this draft. Let's roll. Here we go. So we got Chicago. They went with Caleb. Interesting. Drake May, New York. Marvin Harrison to the Pats. Aluminoya Fashanu to the Cardinals. Joe Alt to the Bears. Talise Fuga. I cannot pronounce these guys' name. I know who they are. It's crazy. Like I've been scouting with these mock drafts, but Some of these guys' names I can't even pronounce. Got Brock Bowers to the Bucks. Bo Nix to the Jets. That doesn't make sense. Maybe it does. Malik Napers. Damn, they go wide receiver heavy there in the Chargers. Keon Coleman to the Colts. That's pretty sick. Penix Jr. to the Raiders. I could see that. Honestly, if I'm the Raiders, I'm trying to get a quarterback. But they're 5-5. They're going to end up having to maybe pull what we had to pull last year. This trade. Let's see here. Adonia Mitchell. All right. And then they took, Adonia Mitchell off the board and Xavier Worthy straight off the board. Wow. Okay. So our team needs, to me, obviously wide receiver, tight end, edge, defensive line. I mean, it's there's holes all the way through. Right? You know, oh God, he sucks. How is he that high and he's got a 56.4 rating? That's terrible. So we got Braylon Trice, who's pretty freaking filthy. You got for an edge, Amarius Mims, who's a right tackle. Do we really need that? No. We got Xavier Legette at the wide receiver position. You got Taron Arnold, who's filthy, right? He's a great corner. Great corner. Right? Now, a lot of us want to go wide receiver, right? We want to go wide receiver. And I get that. You got Johnny Wilson here. Hell, you got Shador Sanders right here. Right? You could go for Carolina could go for him. I really am a big believer in building up the trenches. But right now with the tackles, the only person I would either go after is Troy. I like Jordan Morgan, but again, left tackle position. Is that something that maybe we do? We go after the ends to go after where, Icky is, right? We move him into the inside and you grab another guy in the draft. Is that something that the Panthers would do? Maybe. They might, right? I mean, but then if we look at, because this is a tough position to really, where we are drafting, we have to be very particular and very smart on how we draft when we're drafting without a first round pick, right? And, for me, I'm a big trenches guy. Like, I also believe that we could all need to be going in the inside for defensive line and go after a guy like a Chris Jenkins. I really like this guy, Dante Corey Leon. Mason Smith's okay. He's nothing to be excited about. Tight ends. You got Jatavion Sanders. Where's he at? I just saw him. There he is. He's probably going to be between him and Brock. I mean, Brock Bowers is definitely the best tight end in this draft. But in the situation that we're in, I've already picked Xavier Legette. I really like Chris Jenkins. He's a great run defender. He's still pretty good in the pass rush, so it's not like he can't. I like this guy as well. He's a really good run defender, pass rush. He's well balanced all around. Plays in the A gap most of the time. Makes sense. I'm really big into the trenches. I really want to build the offensive line up, though, guys. Right? I want to build the offensive line. If I'm going offensive line, I'm going here. But then I've been thinking about some trades. Right? I've been thinking about what player I could trade, right? So we could trade some of these guys. So what if if it was me, right? I'm taking Terrace Marshall and I'm taking because we want to get rid of these guys anyways. You might be able to, if you want to swindle for another second round pick, what I would do is because we've got second, third, fourth, fifth, and fifth. I really want to try to make a trade and try to get not just the 30. I wouldn't try to get the 34th. I don't know how I could swindle it. Hog mollies? What is hog mollies? Anyways, all right, so let's go through this again. John Wilson's pretty nasty. But we already went with Xavier Legette last time. So I'm gonna go interior, man. I'm really want to build this interior up. I think that if we're in this situation, you either go with Jordan Morgan or you're go for Troy. Troy has more experience than Morgan does. Mims is okay. He's a right tackle though, so that's why I wouldn't pick him here. Again, though, I'd like to go after him and bring in Troy. So, and then again, off the edge, Braylon Trice wouldn't be a bad idea, right? Or a guy like Terran Arnold to build that corner room, right? But for me, I'm bringing Troy in because I want to build that offensive lineup. I want to bring Troy in to help with the pass blocking. Put him at left tackle because he's a true left tackle, and move Icky to the inside. That's kind of the route I'm going in this one. All right. Because there's multiple scenarios we can go here. Right. There's multiple scenarios that this team can go with. Because then once I do that, I don't have to draft a guard. I don't have to try to draft a left guard. Because now that I have him, Troy, now I can move Icky to the left guard position. So now I don't have to worry about drafting that interior. Again, guys, we can draft a quarterback. You can draft a wide receiver. You can do what you want. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to I see Joseph in the chat saying, what about the LSU quarterback? He ain't going to do no better than what Bryce is doing here. And he ain't no different than Bryce is, in my opinion, anyways. They're the same fucking quarterback. You got to build the interiors, and then you go after the skill positions. And hell, I can go ahead and get Chavion Sanders here. There's two trades. Are they? Why does it say two trades? Oh, nah. So then, this is where it gets interesting because I could go running back. He's a big boy. And this is where it gets interesting. QBs, what's left? You got Rattler. I mean, Rattler's better than both of these guys. I'll admit that. Wide receivers. So now I want to look at skill players. Troy Franklin's usually going right here in the third round. I might hold off on him. And honestly, I might go defensive line because we really need it. We really need it. I know that we need a tight end. I get we need a wide receiver. But we need to build this defensive line up. And honestly, there's really nobody that I kind of like. I like him, but I just don't see him being a good pick here at 65. I mean, we're picking, he looks, Mason Smith's okay. Run defense is terrible, though. So another thing I'd like to look at is edge rushers. We got Jack Sawyer. I think he'd be a great prospect, 6'4". Running backs. You got Marshawn Lloyd. Braylon Allen's right here as well. I think I'm going to go tight end and switch it up a little bit. I haven't done a tight end. I think I'm going to take Chatavion Sanders here. We're going to roll with it. Joseph says, cap. Cap. All right. That's what David Gettleman would call offensive line, defensive lineman. Interesting. All right, so far we've gone tight. We went tackle and we went tight end. So we've gone offense all the way around so far. I'd love to switch it up here and hopefully find me a good wide receiver. I don't know if any of these wide receivers are still on the board by the time we get there. So far, most of the guys, doesn't look like Troy Franklin's gone yet, but he probably will. Normally he goes around in this area. Ray Davis. I like Ray Davis from Kentucky. So far, so good. 60. Kansas City took Troy Franklin. So we'll see who's there. We'll see who's there. And we'll see what defensive lines left as well. San Francisco took Spencer Rattler. That's insane. Okay. Byron Murphy's there. Interior defensive lineman would be insane. Oh, man. But we definitely need wide receivers. So Troy Horton. Torrey Horton. I like. Trey Harris is another good pick here. It's either going to be him or Trey Harris. I like both of these guys. And the value, is there for sure. I wish they would give me the analysis on these guys. I'd love to see more of these analysis on these guys. Jalen McMillan, solid. But Trey Harris, 19 yards after the catch. You got 10.9 yards after catch. More yards, though. 6 TDs. Yards per route run, 2.5. Contested catches catch, 41.7%. Receiving grade. 3 drops this year. Yards after catch, reception, 6.1. Slot yards, 388. Deep yards, 98. Screen yards, 76. Total, he's got 810 yards. Yards after, let me see something. His is 7.3 yards after the catch. His is 6.1. He's got more deep yards. So he plays more in the deep. The other guy plays more in the slot. So really, we would want to go with Trey Harris here. So I'm going to take Trey Harris. So now we've got we got an offensive tackle to play left tackle. That way we can move Icky to guard. Now, and you get your tight end. Now we've got a wide receiver who is a deep threat, more of a deep threat than a slot. I haven't got a corner yet. And I haven't got an edge rusher or a defensive lineman. And so we are going now into the 5th round. And we got 2 picks in the 5th round. So this is where I think I'm going to go defense. And I'll probably go defensive line, and I'll probably go corner if there's some of it built, what's available. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to do that, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Come on. Let's keep going here. Come on, come on, come on. We'll see how this pans out. I mean, this might be worse than my last draft. My last draft was pretty good. I would say I got some pretty good feedback from it. Let's see how this goes. All right. So we do got Shamar Turner. Great pass rusher. He's got 5 sacks, 4 quarterback hits, 21 hurries. Run stopping rate could be better. Is above average though, but I mean, run defense, he's semi. Right. We got Kyrie Jackson. He's okay. I'd like to see what his 40 time is though. We don't need a guard because even though Cooper Beebe, guys, don't sleep on this guy. He's a sleeper. The guy out of Kansas State, hell of a left guard. Hell of a left guard. Definitely a sleeper there. All right. So I'm really looking for a corner, edge, and defensive line. So we got Shamar Turner, who I think would be not bad. I like him. Talik Williams, I like him too for a defensive line. I kind of want to go edge here to help out Brian Burns, try to bring in another piece, right, to that pass rushing group because we don't have anybody. And I like Shamar Turner a lot. I think his size, depth, I think it's a good call. Now we have all 3 of the needs mainly the 3 needs taken care of. Now we got 3 of the needs already taken care of. Now, we'll see, right? Because we got our tackle that we can put at left tackle at the 2nd round. You can move Icky to left guard, right? Then we got our tight end that was needed to help with that tight end group. We got a wide receiver who's a deep threat, not a slot guy. So he's going to play on the outside, Trey Harris, right? And then you get your edge rusher to go alongside and help out in that room, right? A true edge rusher, not a DJ Johnson that just started playing outside, a true edge rusher. And then now, this is where you can either go the defensive lineman or you take the corner to help out with that group. And we'll see how this pans out. So we're gonna go defensive line, and there's nobody here. That's the issue. So then we kind of have to go corner here, and there's really nobody except a Willie Roberts, who's got a 34.8 completion percentage. I'm gonna assume this guy's got to be the best one between him and Smith Wade. Ooh, but run defense is trash. No interceptions. Completion rate's higher. Coverage grade's great. Completion rate. So I'd say we have to go with Willie Roberts here. So I'm going to pick Willie Roberts. This one was really more, I would say this draft, this mock draft, I think I did really more towards the needs, but I also was trying to strategically think how I could save myself of picking 2 offensive linemen, right? So, I kind of rock with, we're basically going to be ending up rocking with Bozeman again or whoever we bring back in. But then, I got Troy Fatunu from Washington, brought him in to be a true left tackle, move Icky to the inside. So then you have those 2 positions filled. You get your tight end. So really, this one not as good as my last one comparably. I mean, overall grade I got better. Actually, I got a B plus. My last grade was a B minus. Now I get it. That C's a C. You took the PF big board. That's why they gave me a C minus there, because I took the guy that they've got ranked 43. But again, this guy is going to be your true left tackle now. And he's only going to get better. And then you move Icky to the inside. Now you've got a big tight end who can make plays. He's a big vertical threat. Then you've got another big vertical threat with Trey Harris, right? You give that wide receiver weapon who's a deep route runner. You bring in an edge rusher, Shamar Turner, to help out on the other side with Brian Burns. And then you just fill in that gap in that corner room with a Willie Roberts. Okay, a young, talented player out of the 5th round. I like it. Some of you may not. I like it. I think you save 2 picks with this pick right here with Troy. Okay. And then you get what you need to help out Bryce on the offense. Okay. You get an edge rusher and you get a corner. That's just me. I like it. So, well, guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. We'll do more mock drafts. We'll do more. I got more content coming your way. We'll definitely be breaking down the Dallas Cowboys game tomorrow. I'll be giving you some key matchups, giving you my preview and prediction of the game. We'll dive deep into that tomorrow. Make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Feel free to join the Discord. The link is down below, so go check it out. You can also follow me on all my social media. That's in the link tree. All right, I have a link tree. The link is down below in the description of this live stream. Also, check out BetUSA, our sponsorship of every live stream. Go check them out. BetUSA.com. Sign up for free today. Get 125% bonus on your first bet. So go check it out. All right. So, guys, as always, thank you for joining. And as always, y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. Peace.